Happy 11/11 porthole. I need a bat too. It's like, I can't wait to light this. All right, so we're gonna do some cards today and kind of see what is going on. It's one of my favorite days. We're doing the 11/11 portal. Yes, this is a real portal. Like, I'm gonna go into that too. Yes, this is actually a thing and you want to be using it too. You don't want to let this pass you by. So we'll talk about that a little bit today, just how I like to use these gateways. This is one of the biggest gateways of the year, and it's also setting the tone, I don't want to say stage, setting the tone for the rest of the year energetically, because the energies are going to go quite high, leading us into January 2026. So we're kind of in our own little cycle. As we know, next month brings the winter solstice. So today's bringing some really, really big energies, if you didn't notice, but it's also helping us to kind of, we'll say, elevate. So we're like right here, 11/11 porthole, and then we go up to the winter solstice and then January. And it's like, we're going into a huge, huge shift in our vibration and frequency right now, in a good way too. We're going up. I was like reminding myself, like, we're only going up from here, but we're going to go through a huge frequency incline or jump. And so you might be kind of feeling these energies. So don't always know everything going on the scientific level with these energies, but I do know that we did have an X flare and a couple CMEs coming at us, and sometimes it takes us a minute to feel that effect. So we can see, you know, we have a lot kind of going on in one space. So you might be feeling, in the frequencies have been really, really high, like for like a week anyway, right? But you might be feeling that like, you know, a lot of intense energies are coming in. And this is a good thing, by the way. Like, when we go into these gateways, they're very high vibe. They're supposed to feel really good, but because we have that added mix of like solar energies too, sometimes things come up we got to clear. That's how we get to a higher frequency, right? It's like old stuff might come up. So for some people, I saw today, old stuff is kind of coming up for clearing, but this is a huge activation day too. So we're just going to come on here and do some Ascension angel cards and see what's going on. But make sure you guys are checking out my website, sparksofdivinelighthealing.com. I put an article up this morning. I'm always trying to put stuff up there for you. I put an article up there this morning for you, talking about these energies a little bit more, if you want to kind of go into that and like how to use them. And make sure you check out the healings and activations that I have specifically for today in my shop. I have a ton of 11/11 porthole stuff on there for you. That's what I'm going to be doing after this video all day too. Great day to do a healing, clearing, or activation, especially the activations today. It's definitely an activation day. So check out my site. I am an energy healer. I have lots of stuff on there. I also do psychic readings, and I teach classes like Reiki and Sikkim. We're just going to do some cards and kind of see what's going on for you. I'm getting major like chills already. I haven't even got started, right? But make sure you guys are sharing this video out. If you can sign up to be a supporter or send PayPal donations or stars, please do. It helps to keep this page going. Awesome way you can get something back. If you're sending stars, you're going to get a psychic shout out. Give me 1 second while I share this out. Make sure you guys have left a comment too, if you're trying to get cards and things like that. So make sure you're also leaving a comment if you're trying to get cards, and hitting the share button. If you're able to send stars, that helps a ton with getting cards. Make sure you guys have shared this out too. All right, we're getting started. I'll let you kind of share it out. Okay, so we're getting ready to wrap up the rest of the year too. So it's important, the work that you're doing right now is going to help you with whatever themes are coming up for this 11/11 portal. It's going to kind of help you with, as we're getting ready for, I don't want to say it, the new year and things like that too. So you might still be working through some things, tying up loose ends when we shift through the 11/11 portal. This is a space of divine alignment, of synchronicity, things like happening, and spiritual awakening too. So a lot of light codes are coming in. They really, really help us with our spiritual awakening, but they're amazing for manifesting. Remember that 11/11 portal is a huge manifestation portal too. I was like saying that you want to be working with this portal, putting it out there. Take care with your thoughts today. Make sure you're staying positive. You should be anyway, but especially today. Take care with what you're putting out there, because it's really, really manifesting fast too. Okay, I see without a trace. Sorry, I'm getting the cards in order. And my cat in order. She's trying to come up here. All right, without a trace, write. You're being guided to write something. I love this too, because this is all about getting creative and tapping into that energy. This could be, I always talk a lot about this. This could be simply, for some, it's just like journaling, and like this is one way that you can do that deeper introspective work and do a lot of like journaling work, writing things down. I think it's the best thing we can do is to keep some type of record of our awakening and ascension, because everything happens in spirals. So you could go through a spiritual awakening and you're dealing with certain themes, and a couple years later you're revisiting these themes, hopefully from a higher perspective, and diving back into them, and it can give you a lot of perspective. This could be a little bit deeper of like, maybe you're being guided to share your journey in some type of way, or share your story in some type of way, because this is what will really, really help people. And I don't mean like some fluff version of it. I mean like the actual experiences that you've been through. Perhaps you hold some type of wisdom or soul medicine for people, and it could be as simple as just making like a manifesting list and writing things down for your spirit guide. So this is something I was taught along the way. We have a lot of thoughts in our head. As much as we like to think that we're a clear channel or telepathically clear, sometimes when we write stuff down, our angels, loved ones, and spirit guides can kind of see it a little bit better too. So this could be as simple as like making a new manifesting list, or, you know, putting it to paper, or it could be something like a bigger project. Like maybe you know that and you're being guided to like, you know, write some aspect of your story down, and we're going to see a lot of creativity come out of this too with this spiritual awakening. Like that was something I was guided to do, to write what I had been through, and I wrote several books on it. And when I was trying to do this project, Spirit was like, just be as, and this is just something, just try the best you can to just be as honest as you can about whatever your experience was. Now, this is huge too if you've been through a lot of trauma or traumatic experiences or have a traumatic past. It's a huge part of taking back your power, by the way, and like calling back your power to actually be able to honor your own narrative, because sometimes we kind of get sucked into other people's views and narratives, and this did happen, this didn't happen. It can really help to empower us. Now, perhaps, and I was saying this, like I was in a group on Facebook last night, and I was like writing things to people, like they were asking advice, and you know, was asking about how can I release something. So 1111 portal, you could just be simply being guided to do some type of ritual work, like writing down everything you want to release and let go of, and burning it, or writing your manifestations and putting them out there. Get creative when you're using these porthole energies, but you're being guided to write something down. Let's do Jackie Quish. Call on your angels. Make sure you're getting more support from your angels. This is powerful. I do a lot of angelic meditations and connecting with the angels in my spare time and my free time, and this is very, very powerful for helping us to nurture and connect more with the spiritual, whether we're being guided to connect more with our angels, spirit guides, or even source. This will really, really help you. You can do this through prayer and connecting with them, and if you need something, like you need help with your healing journey or your spiritual journey, you need help with something, you're facing a specific problem and you know it and you're kind of stressed out about it, prayer is powerful for that. Or it can be a little bit deeper too, and kind of going into meditation and connecting with your angels. We all have personal angels around us, and of course, you know, archangels that will help us with whatever it is that you need. But we really, really have to, I don't want to say open up, because many of you have, like, better open up that connection. So the more that you are connected with the angels, you're going to get a lot of messages back. And this is not one-sided communication. So with your spiritual awakening, perhaps you're already drawing a lot of signs, magic, synchronicity, specific messages. It could be like channeled messages through people, you know, it could be a friend or a stranger, and they're telling you something profound specifically for your journey. And so, you know, you might be connecting in that way and seeing a lot of messages coming back. And so this is why we see such a, as the energies climb, we're able to better connect with the angelic realms. The 1111 porthole is actually a time of balance between the physical, where we all live, and the spiritual dimension. So they're more open during this time, and we can get more feedback and guidance from our angels too. Perhaps you're already getting like a lot of signs and messages from them. Maybe you're someone really getting a lot of angel numbers. Let's do LD. progress. This is where we're at right now. I was talking about like caterpillar to butterfly, and you go through many stages. It isn't like one shot with awakening. This is my DNA activation, awakening, and transformation kind of energy too. And so, you know, going deep within ourselves, perhaps you've been through some type of, in your life, dark night of the soul or shadow work that you're kind of coming out of during this time and kind of, we'll say, re-emerging into the light or feeling a lot better about it. We go through these stages that are intense within our awakening. You know, there's stages where we're great and there's stages where we're going deep within ourselves and we know we have work to do or whatever it is. And so this is like all of the progress that you're making, going through your individual spiritual journey and spiritual awakening and kind of re-emerging anew. And that's everything that we continue to go through in many different cycles. I like to think of seasonal cycles too, like this time of year we're going into maybe the cocoon, right? It's like sweater, cozy sweater weather and like hot drink weather or whatever it is. And so we're kind of going through collectively this place too, where we're kind of going back into the cocoon or going a little bit deeper. It's like the womb energy too, but you're being guided to continue to work on yourself spiritually. DNA activation work. So one way that we can work on healing our DNA and clearing our DNA, and I talk a lot about it almost every video, purging out old patterns and karmic energy. Oftentimes we notice we don't go through a spiritual awakening until later in life. I like to think we're kind of born a little bit more awake, right? But oftentimes it is karmic energy that weighs us down in frequency, so we can't really be our full potential when we're dealing with certain energies in our life, and they're embedded in our DNA. So we have to resolve like our karma or heal karmically so that we can fully transform into our full potential. This is a card about awakening and really shifting towards that higher potential. We're going to do Magdalene, divine light work, being guided to share your light in some type of way. And I don't know if people understand how powerful you are once you're awakened. You're vibrating on a different level, hopefully. So I like to think it as telling myself, you know, the collective, and I don't say the whole collective because there's a lot of people that are awake, but the 3D vibrates on a certain vibratory level or a certain frequency. So once you awaken, you begin to kind of shift or level up out of that and vibrate higher, hopefully. Right? It's like you kind of have to leave the herd, right? Or the crowd or everyone else, and you kind of begin to vibrate out of that. And your light has so much potential. You know, just having one conversation with people, you may or may not realize this, that you're activating people and switching things on for them, or like, you know, you have the potential to say something to them that can activate them and trigger their own spiritual awakening. So sometimes there could be people that are still kind of in the matrix or lost or asleep. That's exactly what our role is here as light workers, because there's things that you can say that can kind of get through to them, or, you know, even sometimes just embodying this higher light. Light workers actually came here to serve a very important role or purpose for the planet during this time. You guys are anchoring this light. So we got a lot of light coming into the planet. Like if you go look at spaceweather.com, you're going to see there's a lot happening. Okay. So we have a lot of, I just call it energy. There's a lot of energy flowing into the planet during this time. We have the 1111 portal energy, you know, some space weather and all of this stuff. We're in a geomagnetic storm from today, definitely through the 13th, if not more, right? So we've been kind of in it. There's a lot of energy flooding the planet that's light and high frequency energy. You're absorbing it. Whether we realize that or not, there's things going on with Earth's planetary magnetic field, but also our energy fields are very, very open to these energies. So what a light worker does, it isn't going around in that unhealthy rescue everyone dynamic anymore. It's actually to absorb this light and to anchor it into the physical. And so our job is to go through these upgrades and to tap into this. The more open that we are, the more that we've healed ourselves and cleared blocks, we also become sensitive to some of these planetary changes and energy shifts and things kind of coming in. So the more that you do your own healing work, you're going to be able to hold more of this light and more of a higher frequency. And as you're absorbing it, you're actually anchoring it into the earth, into the planet. This is why we talk a lot about like grounding and being so important, because we can get very ungrounded as we're going through a lot, or unsettled going through such a huge influx of energy and light and absorbing it and things like that. Some of you guys are consciously aware that you are absorbing a lot of this energy and you're like, oh yeah, it's the 1111. Some people are anyways, and they're just not on that level, but they still are. So this is why things like grounding help. you're being guided to do some type of divine light work. Sometimes it's just holding your own frequency as high as you can and to kind of handle some of the energies coming in and some of these changes. You might be someone who's very sensitive to some of these energy shifts at times too, or feeling them in a big way. Now, some of you guys are also being guided to kind of work on your mission, whatever that is, making the planet a better place, being of service, and helping others. And let's do David Curtin. Crystal clear intention. I think it's one of the biggest manifestation spaces of the rest of the year too. Make sure you're putting good intentions out there. We're putting intentions out there all of the time. Our life continually moves forward. It's flowing, right? Whether we realize that or not, it doesn't always feel like that when we're in it, but it's always moving forward based on our thoughts, intentions, beliefs, and everything we're always putting out there into the universe. This is the day where you want to set really clear intentions. If you have something you're trying to manifest, a manifesting goal, and that's everything that I'm about. All I do is talk about manifesting lately, if you didn't notice, right? We have to, and I was telling someone, we have to manifest everything into this place, literally everything. So it's like putting good ideas and seeds and intentions and thoughts out there, as you know, energy is always moving back to us too. So this is the space with today's 1111 portal. If you have something that you want to materialize, you know, our thoughts are very sensitive to these frequencies and they're amplified. Basically, these gateways amplify everything, like whatever you're already feeling. And this is why it's very important that we're learning about energy and learning how to master our own energy, because these energies get intense. And for the people, not you, but I'm just going to put it out there, the people that haven't done the work and they're like feeling some type of way, they're going to be feeling that times 10. They amplify and magnify everything going on within ourselves. And so if you're able to hold that higher frequency, you can be feeling pretty good going through these shifts. Like, but you've had to do that work to, you know, really clear out like old stuff so you can get to that higher frequency. This is a space where you should be focusing on manifesting or whatever it is you're trying to manifest or bring into your reality right now. Let's do Tiffany. Finding actual happiness and wish fulfillment. This is like, what do you desire? I think that we come to Earth to, number one, we work on a lot of who we are. Okay, we're kind of finding ourselves and trying on different roles. And, you know, at this point, we should be kind of ourselves at this point, which is a good thing. You're like finding yourself, you're awakening, you're integrating more of that. You're kind of bringing that down into the physical experience, which is really important. But we're getting more clear on what it is that we desire. And we're learning new things, right, with it too. So this is like, what would make you happy? It could be an experience, something you're trying to manifest. It could be healing something from within so that you're just feeling genuinely more happy. When I deal with that kind of energy, it's solar plexus energy. It's empath stuff, right? You're being guided to heal your solar plexus so that you're kind of finding that inner joy and happiness and bliss, whatever it is that lights you up. Time to explore more of those options. It might be, you know, things that you really enjoy doing, experiences that you're having, you know, people you love to hang around. It's going to be different for everyone, but if it makes you happy, and I mean genuinely happy, and not like, oh yeah, I'm going through the motions, but like things that really light you up and like create a good buzz for you and bring a positive energy into your life, time to focus more on that too. This is really exploring your inner desires, motivations, and what kind of moves you too. And so, you know, we do a lot of programming. It's like, oh yeah, I'm expected to do this. It's like, you know, life on Earth. But really, if you have the courage, I say courage because it's solar plexus, if you have the courage to really explore what you're desiring in life or what you want to manifest, what you want to bring through, what you want to be experiencing during your time here on Earth, you know, you bring in really positive energy and begin to shift into a higher frequency. It's like getting excited again. This is like don't know what it is that's going to move you, but when you're excited, everyone wants to be around you, believe it or not. Like, I don't want to say this, but we got like Debbie Downer at work and like no one wants to be around them. It's a very repelling energy when we're in a lower frequency energy. And this goes for people, but also our manifestation. So when and it can happen, you know, really depressed or not happy within ourselves, we tend to repel people. Like no one wants to be around that all day, right? And it can be a little draining. But we're also repelling our manifestations. When we can get into that opposite polarity where we're actually excited about anything, like doesn't matter what it is, right? Like anything anything in life, we're in that higher frequency energy. It is contagious. You're going to notice everyone wants to talk to you or be around you, or, you know, to join in that excitement. And it can be about anything, literally. You could have found a new hobby, you're in a photography club or whatever, right? But as long as you're happy and lit up, like, it's very, very magnetic energy, and everyone wants to be around it. And when we're in a magnetic energy, we're very, very attracting to our desires and our manifestations too. So this could be kind of exploring your inner reality or your inner world, and kind of finding more of what makes you tick and more of what lights you up. Let's do Trisha. Good morning. Quiet your ego mind. And this is hard too, because this is like our only obstacle, our ego, right? And this is like something here that we come to Earth to experience, but it's something that we're working on too. And it's really just everything going on in your head and in your mind, and things like that too. And so, you know, obviously our private thoughts become things that we say to people, right? Like getting in our inner world and how we work. We're needing to heal things on the mental level. And I think this is important too with the third eye level. And so it's purging out negative patterns and negative thoughts and things like that. So I always say it every day, our beliefs create our reality. So we're having to really, really pay attention to our thoughts. When we were asleep, we weren't paying attention. We were just thinking things on autopilot, we call it. That's what asleep is to like be on autopilot and kind of programmed up. And we get that programming from many places, right? Passed down generationally, society, school, whatever you've been through. And so oftentimes is when you have a spiritual awakening that you begin to kind of tap into like, okay, someone's going to tell you, you're going to switch it on, right? Whatever, however it comes to you, that we have to work on our negative thoughts. And we were all programmed up a little bit negative and didn't mean to be, right? Or whatever. So just reoccurring fears, negativity, and usually it rears, I say it's ugly head, your ego. When you have something big going on and you're afraid of something, you know, a lot of times we're going to go through shifts in our life, relationship shifts, job shifts, whatever it is. Welcome to Earth, right? These are transition points in our life. We go through a lot of transitions. When we hold a lot of trauma and we haven't healed, we have a hard time going through, or a harder time going through some of these transition points. And then the more healed we are, we're going to stay more regulated and handle it better, hopefully, right? So oftentimes, you know, the more trauma, the more negativity or negative energies that we're having to heal, especially when it comes to the mental energy. So it's like, you know, you've been through something traumatic, and then this is where our ego loves to, you know, create a catalog of all of our experiences. So, you know, in the past, we're just going to make up something, you know, you went through a negative relationship, welcome to Earth, right? And bad example, I know, right? So you're in a new relationship and they seem great, right? But all of a sudden the ego is like, this is going to go bad. Is where the fear comes up. And it could be about anything. It could be about a job, relationship, life, whatever it is, because you've been through something negative and traumatic, that in the now you keep having more fear pop up, more traumatic experiences, more fear programming. And sometimes this comes from the ego level. I get it's probably trying to keep you safe or whatever. It's survival mode at its finest. And so the best thing that we can do to like do the inner work, and there's no bypassing doing the inner work, we have to do it. Because if all of our thoughts are manifesting into our reality, frequencies are going to continue to climb on planet Earth, and we're going to manifest faster and faster every thought that we're thinking. And it's like, oh my God, okay, so I'm having a fear-based thought. I don't want this to happen is the best example of that. We're sitting there, I don't want this to happen. It's manifesting. We don't want to have those kind of experiences. So the best way to do that is to continue to work on changing your thoughts the best you can, right? And questioning them, by the way, questioning old beliefs, purging them out. And one of the best ways that we can use this 1111 portal energy is to put out there what we do want, not what we don't want. We're like, right? It's like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen. I mean, we're humans, it's human nature, but really focusing on what you do desire to manifest better results and things like that too. So doing a little bit of ego work, and ego, you won't notice it until someone triggers you really bad, by the way, right? The triggered state, oh my God, and it's like the shadow come out of nowhere. Like, depends on how bad for certain people, right? Like you've been through something rough. Depends. So it can come out most when unsettled, triggered, going through some type of huge change like we're going through now. Just kind of depends. Let's do Trey Moore. High vibrational living. This is where I'm at. This is an entire lifestyle, right? we might be guided, or you might be guided to make some changes in your life just to get healthier. It's like purging out a lot of patterns. That's how I kicked off my awakening right here on video a long time ago, right? And just started at the bottom of what it was I needed to change in my life, from the cigarettes to the alcohol to the drugs to the prescriptions to, I can go on and on with the list, to the meat I was eating, and all of these changes that I've been subtly and gradually changing, right? And as I began to make these series of changes, and I wrote about it in my book, if you're looking from the beginning, changing my mindset and negative beliefs and all of it. And as you begin to do this work, amazing things start to happen in your life, right? Because our inner world changes, our vibration changes, and what we attract and what we bring in is changing as well too. So this is an entire lifestyle. Yeah, you can do like a little retreat and do it for a weekend, but actually the best thing you can do is to like make this your entire lifestyle of getting healthier, eating better foods, right? Cutting out the toxins in every form. Sometimes it's the food and toxins like I talked about with that list for me. Sometimes it's our programming, what we're watching, what we're paying attention to. It could be our relationships and purging out negative relationships and negative connections to heal. Whatever it is that you need to heal, really putting your healing first. I think this is so, so important. And usually it's not like a weekend job, by the way. A lot of you guys have been awake a while and are continuing to work on yourself, but I see amazing things coming out of this awakening where people are wanting to get healthier, whether it's like, you know, things like food or even cutting out toxic connections or whatever it is, really doing that work so that, you know, you can be the healthiest version of yourself. Your higher self is not all those lower self versions of yourself. It's like literally, I always talk about it as like this evolved version of yourself in the future, not even now. So a lot of you guys have been making a ton of changes, and you can see that reflected in the now. It's when you keep going in the future, becoming that person that you do become through making these changes and things like that too. So maybe you're being guided to make some changes and to cut out anything toxic from your life. It could be things you're putting into your body, things you're watching, connections, things that aren't great for you. Really, really, you know, putting in that work. And this is going to really make your vibration go up. We have to raise our vibration. I'm just going to remind you about today's energies. They're getting intense. We're all going to hopefully keep living on this planet. So we have to raise our vibration, because for the people that are trying to stay in the low frequency patterns, it's going to become very unbearable. And I mean on the spiritual and energetic level. So the more that we can get healthy and make these changes, we're going to vibe a lot better with these higher frequency energies. So we see a lot of people that will just say maybe aren't doing the work in the 3D. They're having a hard time of like things surfacing really intensely during this time. For those of you guys that are doing the work, you're subtly raising your vibration or gradually raising your vibration, and you're having an easier and easier time. One of the things I do, I'm going to put it out there through the healing work that I do through my website, is help you guys to raise your vibration, right? Like as we heal and let go of, and it's one more thing, like it could be like I talked about that whole list of letting go of obvious things, but we also hold a lot of blocks, trauma, ancestral line programming, things from our past within our energy body and within our energy field that affect our frequency, and we don't notice any of it. We're like, I'm fine, lady, right? Like, I'm good. But the more that you do like energy work, you're going to raise your vibrational frequency, and it's going to help you so much with your awakening and spiritual journey too, and getting to that higher frequency. So you guys know I think energy healing is the best for that. It's a lot of what I do. Like a lot of people, yes, obviously come to me for healing trauma, but a lot of people come to me simply for the upgrades and you know, things like that too. So it'll really help you to raise your vibrational frequency doing the healings on my website too. I see John, inner guidance. Make sure you're paying attention to your inner guidance. And I was telling someone, and I'm going to give you this message because it's perfect. When we're spinning like a spinning top, right? Purging, spinning, not clear, unsettled, we have things kind of coming up. We cannot tap into our guidance as good. When you're in a really, really high frequency state, guess what happens? You're really tuning in. You're getting downloads, you're getting direct guidance. Someone was asking me yesterday, and I'll try to put it out there. They're like, how do you get this? Like messages, like I was doing a session, and I'm like, I'm downloading it. That's what I do. Okay, so we can call it downloading. It's like spiritual guidance coming through from your own, usually it's from your own spirit team, your own spirit guides and and things like that too. And they're giving you guidance all of the time. Now, the thing is, we have to clear ourselves out so we're receiving it. It's a little bit like, I don't even know, like old email, and your email box is full of messages, but you didn't get them because you were offline. Like your phone was offline, computer, right? It was offline, and you have 100 emails, spirit guide messages, but you didn't open them, right? Because we're like not online. So the higher frequency, once again, that we're in, we're going to be able to kind of tap in and tune in more, because it is sometimes our own internal blocks. And when we clear those internal blocks, we can tap in so much better. Now, my favorite is a lot of you guys are getting those messages, and maybe you listen, maybe you don't, or it can get distorted once again through the ego, and you're not sure, like you got the message, but then you spend 2 hours picking it apart, like, right? Overthinking it. So things like overthinking, the ego loves to shut things out. Now, good news on this. A lot of times that you're going to get very clear guidance in your dreams, meditation, and when you actually take some time to connect. I think if you're like looking for clarity on something, the best thing you can do is just like go sit by yourself for a day, get out into nature, ask questions. That's my favorite. I begin to ask questions back, lots of them, right? And get the information too. So maybe you're being guided to, if you want to know something specific, like you're not sure about something, you have such powerful guidance. You can ask a specific question about your life, you can get a lot of clarity. So perhaps you're someone that's being guided to dive more into like the Akashic records, or to trust your inner guidance, that you're actually pretty intuitive, obviously, and to kind of, not obviously, but to trust it, like trust what's coming through intuitively for you specifically. And a lot of times we get specific guidance about our life. Now, we can tap into other people, welcome to my realm, but only if it's pertaining to, like if you're learning with someone, this is common. I could get a lot of information about people learning with me if it pertained to me, right? And so you might be able to tap in about other people, but only if it's needed, really, right? There still can be like blocks in that and stuff like that too. So oftentimes we get the best guidance about ourselves. Yes, we can get it obviously intuitively if we're learning with other people, from the Akashic records and other places, but we get the most guidance about our own soul's journey and like where we're going, what we need to do, whatever it is. Pay attention to the guidance coming through. This is like a reflection card. This is Etherica Riviera. Spiritual protection for you, and this is such a starseed thing. I was reading your comment, by the way, about your living situation. Just make sure you're protecting yourself and things like that. We learn that way. I spent a lot of my time here on earth learning with like other people, like all over the world in different places and things like that too. So just see it like, you're where you should be at all times here on the planet Earth. Sometimes it's not where we want to be. You're where you should be, so that you can maybe like focus on healing certain things or whatever. For you, just try to work on pulling back your energy, protecting your energy, but don't overthink it either. If you're able to get quiet time, I don't know if they let you have headphones, but I'd get some, right? That's what I do when I was dealing with, like a lot of roommate situations and things. Get some headphones if they let you. Okay, waterfall of divine love. For you, connecting with source for anything that you need. There's an abundance of energy flowing into the planet right now. And, whatever it is, even if you're we talked about manifesting with it, recharging your energy, restoring your energy, getting more spiritual, right? Elevating spiritually, really, really cultivating that spiritual connection with source. Now, I like to do that obviously through meditation or connecting. Now, this won't be for everyone. I mean, it should be, but Reiki energy healing can help you a lot with connecting with that universal energy. It was huge on my journey too, and like a huge thing I was guided to do. Obviously, it's what I do. So like taking Reiki classes, I have tons of them on my website. Taking Reiki classes, I always recommend taking them, and taking Sikhem classes after. It will really, really help to strengthen your spiritual connection and connection with source. You're being guided to really, really connect with that energy. One easy technique I do in a lot of my meditations is just visualize that pillar of light coming down your chakra system and to kind of sit in it for a recharge. So perhaps you're being guided to recharge your energy a little bit more. Nature is always amazing, but this is more of a source connection card. This is all source energy coming into the planet. We buffer it and we turn it into different things in our life, right? But we're noticing an awful lot of energy is coming into the planet. I just look at it like waves or currents of source energy too. So we are connecting more, believe it or not, more and more too. For you, meditation might be ideal, opening the crown chakra and really channeling that energy in a positive charging way. Jamie Nicoli, relationship harmony. All right, we're being guided to, number one, connect in a healthier way with ourselves and with other people. And now we always think romantic. Now I like it to be, but we're also learning how to connect with other people. Think about how many people you've probably crossed paths with, like how many soul contracts you may have had, and think about how detailed it would be, your life plan. Like you have had family, you've had friends, you've had employers, you've had coworkers, or you've had romantic partners, whatever it was. So you've touched a lot of people. Now what I'm getting at is I think that we're designed for connection, that humans are, and that we're probably going to learn with other people, hopefully. Right? Like other new people are going to come into your life, and we want to connect in a healthy way. When we can connect healthy with our friends, family, lovers, whatever, we get more out of the relationships. We've all seen, you know, when they haven't gone good, we'll call them a collaboration, each soul contract. When it hasn't gone good, it causes hurt for both people and maybe karmic energies. Okay, it's not great. But when we can connect in a healthy way, we get the most out of it. We actually get matched up in perfect divine timing with the right people that can help us to elevate some way spiritually, heal something, or get to the next level. And sometimes we don't always see that. And so the connections that come into our life, and they do come into our life in perfect divine timing, are meant to be helpful in some type of way. The more that you're healing your energy in relationship with yourself and learning how to connect on a healthier level, you're going to get much more out of these connections. I've been doing a lot of relationship work, as a lot of you guys know, and what I've found is that some people that are having, I'll say, more relationship problems and are not connecting in a healthy way romantically, they tend to bring that into other connections and have problems in other areas, we'll say, and things like that. So I feel that we really need to heal our connection with ourselves to have healthier relationships and things like that. All of our connections have some type of mirroring element too, especially romantic ones, where they can mirror back like flaws, insecurity, problems, patterns that we need to work on. So the more that we're healed, we're going to have that better energy within it too. Healing your sacral energy and really taking care of yourself, healing your connection with yourself is going to just bring so much, we'll say, healthier connection into your life too. So you're someone in this lifetime that is working through some type of relationship patterns and working towards hopefully healthier and healthier connections in your life. So maybe you're doing some type of like relationship healing, if solo with yourself, if in a relationship with that person. Let's do Kaylin A. Crystals, my favorite. I was like, okay, maybe you're being guided to work with crystals. I have a really nice crystal Reiki on my site. It has like so many of the crystals in it, and it goes really deep. I can't remember, but it has a really nice book too with it, which is always great. So maybe you're being guided to work with crystals. Obviously, we're talking about healing and different uses for it and everything like that. And I always say pay attention to whatever crystals that you're guided to work with too. And this is going to give you great insight. You might really need a crystal during a time. Like, I can't find my favorite ring. I'm just going to put it out there. And I was wearing like a different crystal one I must have been needed it at that time. Like, I wasn't trying to wear that crystal, right? And suddenly it's like, oh, okay, I have this different ring on. So whether it's like crystal jewelry or actually stones, they come into your life in perfect divine timing. You might be at the crystal shop and you don't know which one to get. And they're like, oh my God, I would recommend this for you. Pay attention to those recommendations. Someone could gift you a crystal and it's a certain type. You're always going to get exactly what you need. I remember someone telling me to get a certain type of crystal, and it was probably exactly what I needed at that time. So when crystals have served their purpose, they may disappear. They run away. I was going to say they might run away. They might disappear. They might break when they're protecting you from heavy energy or absorbing things or whatever it is. Pay attention, because you're going to be guided probably to work with crystals. I've been doing that huge. No, not recently, but a lot of times I sleep with a crystal too to help me during the dream time. This can help to recharge you in your sleep. You can use them for like literally everything. You can make a grid for healing, manifestation. You can use them just to, amplify your manifesting. You can obviously use them for healing, powerful on the chakras, and keeping your chakras good to absorb that energy. So I like to recharge them and lay them on my chakras. I like to sleep with them and wear them. Let's do Carl Maz. Nurture your physical body. We talked a little bit about clearing all the junk from our body, our food over here in America, right? Like, I saw a good poster like, okay, you got to start eating like food your great-grandmother would have had, basically veggies, right? And things like that. We have a lot of processed foods and things like that, but it's something huge I see happening with the awakening. We're becoming a little bit more aware of our food. So when someone's sick and they go to the doctor, they should probably ask them about their eating habits, but I don't think they do. Well, generally, right? Like usually, but usually it's connected, by the way. And we like to think we picked up, health problems from our generational line. You picked up their eating habits probably as a child too, right? And things like that. So the healthier that we're eating, our food is going to have more light and life force in it, less healthy, more processed garbage foods, not very good for the body. So, we're being guided. The best thing we can do is to cut out sugar, because parasites and other things, they love the sugar. You're literally feeding parasites oftentimes, and we don't realize that. So if this is forever, someone's like a sweet addict, a sugar addict, oh my God, you got to starve the parasites, do a good parasite detox. That will help with cravings. So sometimes like when people are, and I'm not saying you're trying to lose weight, but maybe some people will resonate with this. Like if you're trying to lose weight, look at the foods that you're attracted to, or like that you binge on or whatever, right? We all go there. And it'll tell you a lot about what's going on with your body. So I feel a lot of times with awakening, we were fine eating all that GMO garbage in the 3D. You're being guided to eat a little bit healthier and clean up your diet. And you're going to notice you have so much more energy. You're sick less. You're holding that higher frequency, because food contains light codes too. More light codes, healthier body and things like that. You're building your body with what you're putting in it all day long on the food level too. Didn't mean to go into like a food topic, right? But you're building your body. So when you're making healthier choices, you're going to really, really see it reflected in your energy field too. Let's do, Amy Johnson, forgive. Time to let go of more from our past. And sometimes we think we have, right? The best way to clear karma, and this is like from stuff we've already been through, is to find forgiveness and love. And if we don't, like, okay, I'm not going to, like, hey, whatever, do what you want. But if someone's like on that stubborn level, we tend to attract a karmic partner in our life. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be that nightmare boss, that horrible friend, right? That will replay out that pattern or re-trigger that pattern so it can come up so you can heal it. It gets a lot easier when we're like, okay, people were operating at their level of awareness. Maybe some stuff was intentional, hopefully not. But I'm going to find forgiveness for myself so that I can release the heavy energies from my past, so I'm not carrying them around like boulders in my backpack, right? And I get into that relationship we talked about, or that job, or that friendship, or usually romantic, and it's like, that partner is like, what are you carrying with you? You have 5 boulders in your backpack that you're trying to bring into this, relationship. Guess what's going to happen? The backpack gets heavy, you drop it, and those rocks are spilling everywhere in your living room, right? That's how trauma is, or past grievances, hurts, whatever it is we're kind of holding on to. So for you, maybe letting go of something from your past and things like that. This is shadow work at its finest, and usually it goes back to past traumas. People have been through a lot that we generally don't talk about. I'm not going to go into that. Like heavy stuff. A lot of you guys have been through like abuse cycles, trauma cycles, negative relationships, whatever it was from your past, maybe needing to go a little bit deeper. I also love the violet flame too for that type of work. It's amazing for like heart chakra work, forgiveness work, karma clearing. It'll literally burn away karmic energies and things like that. So sometimes we're holding on to karmic energies and heavy energies from our past. We think we're done, right? But old stuff can kind of come up, and we're clearing many deep cycles over the course of our lifetime. I always say this morning, I was like, look big picture at your life and like see some of the cycles that have been playing out. That's what we're here to heal. So some type of letting go from your past energy, heart chakra work, karmic clearing work coming up for you. Could just be old stuff, hopefully, that you've been through and releasing it a little bit further. I see Sam Beadle. You are the rainbow bridge. This is my mediumship card, like literally, right? You are that bridge, and it's my galactic card. It's like my starseed card, but also sometimes it's mediumship and kind of being that anchor between realms and things like that too. So I'll just put it out there. If any of you guys have lost a loved one, that is because, that is supposed to open up and activate mediumship gifts and abilities. Not everyone's been through these experiences, but especially if you lost people close to you, mediumship gifts. If you are a starseed and you are galactic, you literally are that in-between point. You could become a channel or a healer or maybe you have those gifts, right? Or those psychic gifts. You're kind of in between worlds, and that's okay. You're someone very, very dialed into either the other side in the other realm, or even higher dimensions and galactics and things like that too. So for you, really trusting your intuition and what you're picking up on. Okay, I want to do Magdalene because I think I got you, but I'm not sure. Awakening creativity. These energies are all about what we are creating here in the physical on earth and manifesting. We're literally meant to create heaven on earth. Now it's a process. We're like a learning process with our manifesting. But as we kind of get momentum, I always compare it to like the 5-year-old riding the bike. They get the bike and they go crash out and they're like, I'm never riding the bike. Well, they're pretty good at it by the time they're 10. So this is us manifesting, and it can be a little messy. Look at your past, a little messy. But as we're picking up momentum in these higher energies, it's going to get easier, okay, with what you're manifesting. You guys are actually manifesting faster and faster. You're getting better results and you're bringing through the little things. So this is like what you're creating here in the physical. And I bet it was like, before we come to earth, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to earth, right? It's gonna be easy. I'll take on all that trauma and like 10 times the karma. And your spirit guides had to tell you to dial it back. They're like, no. Like, no, it's fine. I'll take on all those lessons and some, right? Everything that you did. And they're like, okay. So it's a little harder sometimes. It's easy to plan it, and like sometimes it's like planning your dream vacation itinerary, and it's a little, doesn't go the way you wanted. It's like you planned, 10-week whatever, and it was like way different than you expected. That's how earth is, but you're getting better at it. This is like really tapping into your sacral energy. Like you're getting in this higher frequency and making it work for you, and getting intentional, that's the word today, intentional about what it is you're creating, manifesting, and wanting to bring through. Make sure you're putting good intentions out there today. People are like, how to use the 1111. Obviously, I say activations, but also putting it out there and kind of manifesting today. Let's do Sherry. And then I'm kind of reading the comment too. And then if just wanting to be more connected spiritually, it's the collective thing for a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys, I describe it like going through the collective, right? And it could be like a collective thing, and it's just where we're at with the awakening. If you are looking to connect more, energy work will really, really help you, by the way, to connect stronger. A lot of people come to me trying to like activate gifts, connect stronger, or to get that connection back stronger. If you're feeling disconnected, it's a great place to start. And then Sherry, honor how far you come. This is my favorite, the blue butterfly. I've been obsessed with it lately. I have the tattoo on me, by the way. Okay, this is, you are being guided by spirit, and to really look at how far you come. And I was saying, we might not be where we want to be. Welcome to earth, right? But you've come so far. Look at all that you've cleared, conquered, overcome. You're still here, right? And you're still trekking along. You've come so far. And I mean, as a person, I'm getting like crazy chills with this message too. So it's a lot of spirit energy coming through. You are being so guided by spirit. This could be loved ones in spirit, and you know that, you feel them, you sense it. It could even just be your spirit guides and ancestors, but more past loved ones around you. So perhaps you had a strong connection with people or someone or people in your family that have passed along, and they're really, really here with you. Okay, so this is like, sometimes our family doesn't just go reincarnate, like they don't just die and leave. The whole soul group waits for each other, by the way. So if you have like soul group, and this could be family, loved ones, whatever it is, they're helping guide you, and they're around you like all of the time. They might even be sending you obviously messages and trying to get your attention or downloads or reassurance. And one way that we can tell that our loved ones in spirit are around us is they pop into our mind. That's like the biggest indicator that you're getting a message. So if you're missing someone on the other side and they pop into your mind, just randomly pay attention to the thoughts around that, because it's a message, whatever it is. And sometimes we're a really good psychic mediumship receiver, sometimes maybe not. You just might feel their presence and they're missing you, but you're getting a message with it. So I always say to pay attention to the thoughts. Just know that you're being looked after, protected, and guided, and that is powerful to have too. It's a powerful force to have while we're here navigating our earth experience. Okay, I'm going on that note anyways. I'm going to be doing 1111 porthole activations and healings today. If you need them, check them out on my site. You can do anything on my site anyways. Enjoy the rest of your 1111 porthole.